Hey, this is Fungo, and in this video I'll be covering all the new and free content added with the latest Bloodborne patch. Let me reiterate, this is not about the paid DLC, which is coming in a day or so. This is free for all owners of Bloodborne. I'll cover all the items you can acquire, who most of the summonable NPCs are, divulge more information on how to join the new Covenant, the League, and how to rank up in it. I'll even address some patched exploits and overall changes to the game. A patch, or should I say a double patch, hit us a few days ago, version 1.06 and 1.07. The latter basically just fixing bugs the original patch created, I assume. The download is a whopping 9.3 gigabytes, making you wonder just how much did they add with this patch? At first glance, the game doesn't seem too much different, but upon loading it up and heading to the Hunter's Dream, at the top of the stairs, where your items are usually given to you, will be a new item called the Old Hunter's Bell. Grab this bell, and as you progress, it can be used at many different points in the game, usually before bosses, to summon in different NPCs, sometimes bolstering new weapons and attire that can only be acquired from the DLC, almost as if advertising what you could have. Clever marketing scheme, FromSoft. This edition of NPCs is great, because I could never understand why there weren't more than 2 summonable NPCs in the first place. Also, there's a new character, Volter. So far, it sounds very similar to what the free patch in Dark Souls 2 did, right? Well, here's where it deviates. This patch adds a new Covenant, and in my opinion, a necessary one. The Covenant is called the League, and to get it, you will need to have progressed through the Forbidden Woods far enough, namely past the windmill, to get to the elevator and shortcut leading back to the lamp. From the lamp, in this room, you will find a lantern and the Covenant leader Volter against a wall. Talk to him and accept his request to find more of what he calls vermin and join the ranks. He will then give you the Impurity Oath. When equipped at the Carol Rune workbench, this oath offers a 2% increase to your HP when you cooperate with other players, which is barely anything and not even a perk at all. But there is another perk. When you go into someone else's game and defeat a boss through cooperation, you gain an item called Vermin. You can also gain Vermin by having a Confederate of the League join your game and help defeat a boss with you, similar to the Sunlight Covenant in Dark Souls. Squish just one of these vermin anywhere you please and talk to Volter. He will then reward you the League staff, a title above your name stating Confederate, and a new sweet animation to show off when summoned into other players' games for good old Confederate cooperation. See, that just doesn't sound as good as Jolly cooperation. This new move makes the contact gesture look so lame. Oh my god. Is he using the contact gesture? What? He doesn't even have the League gesture? Psh, get with the times, bro. Everyone uses the League gesture now. Contact gesture is like so 2 days ago. The actual perk to being a part of the League is similar to the perk that comes with the Vile Blood Covenant. Like the Vile Blood Covenant, there is a leaderboard. Why I find this patch necessary is because it actually encourages people to want to ring the small resonant bell and assist other players in their games, whereas before this patch, people rarely ever did that. The leaderboard and potential of leveling up in the Covenant is just the right incentive players needed, and you do level up in the Covenant. After smashing 5 vermin to please the Covenant leader, you will vanish, leaving an item in his stead called the Master's Iron Helm. After that, you won't see him again until possibly the upcoming DLC or New Game Plus. Also, a new hostile NPC will show up if you go to the Forbidden Woods lamp. He will have his back turned against you, making it extremely easy to sneak up on him and do a visceral attack. Careful though, as he may use a crazy new spell. After defeating him, you'll get that spell through an item called a Madaris Whistle. It summons a snake-like creature out of the ground, is creepy, and is definitely a nice addition to PvP. It will hopefully reduce cornering and add new tactics. What's pretty funny is you can totally cheese and kill him easily by using the elevator tactic, and it's hilarious to watch him fall to his death. Easy cheesy. You may also kill Volter and get his helm, but it will be less specific in the title and item description. Of note, he is using the saw blade weapon that we've seen in the DLC trailer. As far as I can tell, that's all the new items added with the patch. Now let's talk about the added NPCs. There are 7 new NPCs that I know of, other than Alfred and Gascoigne, that can still be summoned in their regular locations, but you will need the Old Hunter Bell now. The new NPCs that I found are as follows: Younger Madaris Twin, the only summonable Confederate NPC in title, Henriette, Mensis Scholar Damien, Defector Antle, Tomb Prospector Oleg, Madman Waller, and Killer Queen.
She's a killer.
which are all considered old hunters and titles. While most of these NPCs seem to have attire already existent in the game, Antle seems to be sporting a spear pickaxe weapon and Damien is carrying a metal shield, both weapons we've already witnessed in the DLC trailer. Walar, on the other hand, has some freakish blunt weapon with a crazy weird transformation. 3 of those NPCs are only in the Chalice dungeons, and there are more than likely other NPCs in the Chalice dungeons, but I'm not about to grind for hours to find out right now. On New Game Plus or higher, I've noticed that the NPCs usually die before the battle is over unless you have other help. Bosses deliver more damage than they can handle and their weapons are barely effective. One last thing of importance. Before the patch, you were able to summon an NPC and 2 other human players, but now it's capped at 2 cooperators, NPC or not. So yes, you can summon 2 NPCs at once if you so choose, or 2 human players if you so choose. Back on the topic of dungeons, they made them a little more compelling in nature by allowing all ritual items to be bought rather than farmed. I wish I knew that a week ago. There are also commonly shared dungeons that people can go to for easier connectivity to other players. You can also see rings at the feet of apparitions of players that are looking for help within summoning range. And the Augur of Abriatus can now parry, as it should have all along. I encountered a teeny little glitch in my playthrough that I should point out. It pretty much disallowed me use of all my headstones, so I was stuck in the Hunter's Dream and I couldn't leave it. I was screwing around with the Madaris whistle before that, so it may have been the trigger. I just had to exit and reload the game to fix it. Like I said, not game breaking, not a big deal, and will likely get patched. Now for the exploits, and the speedrunners are definitely going to want to hear about these. Remember that door in the upper cathedral ward that you could exploit by clipping your weapon through to kill the brain sucker on the other side and get the orphanage key from it without having to progress all the way around? They patched that door, and only that door, and now your weapon will just bounce right off. But apparently clipping through the other side of the door is possible because I can't clip through it, but the wolf can? They slightly fixed the glitch in the ROM boss fight. Sometimes when there are cooperators, the spiders for the 2 other ROM spawn areas will show up prematurely, having no AI, and just sit there waiting for you to kill them, making the next stages of the fight much easier. Now, they have AI and will try to attack you if you approach them. Not a fix as much as it is a band-aid to the problem, but at least it makes more sense now. Lastly, and I know most of you know about this, if you exited the game during the Vicar Amelia boss fight, you'd be able to return to the boss fight, only Amelia would have no AI and would just sit there for an easy boss kill. They fixed this issue now. That's about all there is with this new free patch. There aren't any notable changes to the base game and aesthetics, nor any new open areas. But you can't say no to more content and a more polished, finished game. I hope you enjoyed this detailed coverage of the patch, but I did leave out some things for a future video, a Bloodborne lore, where I'll go into the story of the Covenant and the new characters. The DLC hits soon, and with it, plenty of content on this channel, so please subscribe or become a patron. I'd love to thank my current ones who have helped support me greatly. Please watch more No BS guides and Bloodborne lore. And why don't you all go out there and hunt more vermin? They've been getting into my mold cabbage patch. Filthy vermin.